Good morning, everybody. I'm going to do a video tutorial on how to replace the elastic in your SoftBums. So for this, what you'll need, you might need some stick pins. I've never done this before, so this will be a learning process. I should have some good tips for you. You'll need some stick pins, your replacement elastic, which you can order from the SoftBums website, probably a smaller safety pin to feed your elastic back through, and something to take out the seams with. I have a seam ripper which I will use, but if you don't have one, a smaller scissors will work too. First thing we're going to start out doing is removing, I'm going to grab a different color here. We're going to remove this back seam that holds the elastic into the back part of the diaper. So we're going to take out these two stitches here, which should remove, we'll be able to pull this out. So what I'm going to do here is just pull out, I think there's like 8 or so stitches here. So I'm just going to take my seam ripper and carefully make sure you don't stab the pull so it doesn't leak here. Just take out these 2 stitches. So I got all these stitches out, and as you can see, this elastic is no longer attached to the inside of this diaper. So I'll just pull it out through the front of the diaper here. So then now we have no elastic on this one side. I'm just going to quick do the same thing to the other side and pull out these stitches and pull out that elastic. So now I'm going to take, I got both of my elastics out of there with the toggles. Make sure you keep the toggles, do not throw those away. I'll take out my new elastic. And what we need to do is we need to rethread this back into these holes in the diaper. So that's where your safety pin comes in. Just put your safety pin just on the end, probably like a 1/4 inch away from the end of the elastic. My children are alive and kicking this morning. So it looks like this. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to go through the front so it works. It'll be the same if you have an Echo or an Ami. You'll feed this safety pin up each side, and you'll just kind of scrunch it through slowly but surely. And when you get to the end, we'll stop and we'll pin it right here. So I'll do that quick and we'll come right back. Okay, so I've fed one elastic through and I just pinned it in place. When you get it up here, just unhook your pin. Now if you don't have an Omni, this is a little bit tougher to do. You just kind of got to feel for it and then snap it open, then just kind of drop it back through. And then I've started in this side. And all you do with this pin is you just, my safety pin is right here and I've started through the top. Now you'll notice that this is narrow because this is where your toggle will sit, right at the top of the stitching. So it's extra narrow here so it won't slide back through. So you just slide your pin forward a little bit and kind of grab it and then pull your fabric so it'll work its way through. Then just do this all the way till you get to the end. The PL is kind of sticky, so just keep working your way through it. So now you got them both fed through and they're both pinned. Where you can kind of see where your stitching was before. Leave your elastic hanging over about, I don't know, about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit less. So then it gives you enough room to sew into. And what you'll do is you'll re-sew where that it was sewn. I am probably going to hit this with a little zigzag too, just to extra keep this the new elastic in place, because it was sewn more than just this one place in this diaper. So I will re-sew that extra well to make sure it doesn't pull out. And then at this point what you can do is take your toggles off your old elastic and put them on your new elastic. Simply squeeze and pull it all the way off of there and kind of fold your elastic up and squeeze it and put it through this other, the new toggle. And you can either leave these separate or tie them together in a knot. I kind of like mine tied together in a knot. But you can do it either way, just your personal preference. And then next thing I'm going to do is dig my sewing machine out here and get it set up. You'll want to use a 100% polyester thread, which most threads are unless you have like a cotton quilting sort of a thread set up already, but you'll want to use polyester. It just holds up better than the cotton does, especially through all the washings. So again, I'm just putting this toggle on. I'm just folding the elastic in half so it's easier to thread through. Squeeze your toggle, feed it through, and then I'm going to tie mine in a knot. You can leave them separate, tie them each individually in a knot if you want, but I just like mine together just because that's how we've always done it at this house. So there's that, and then I'm just going to dig out my sewing machine and I will meet you back and show you how to sew these in. Okay, so I got up my sewing machine. I'm using an all-white 100% polyester thread. I like to use a ballpoint needle because it will work through the PUL layer a little bit better. I'm using a pretty short length on my stitch. I'm just using a standard straight stitch. You could probably use a stretch stitch if you wanted to, if you had that option. I'm using about a length of 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sewing along my original seam line, which comes up here and then crosses over. I'm going to probably start down about an inch, just reinforcing the seam since we took it apart. It's not secured in any way now because the back stitching was all taken out. So I'm going to start about here and just sew straight up, and then my elastic is right about here, which is where I'm going to sew over it a couple times and back stitch it so it's secured in really well. Put your needle down. You can make this 90-degree corner. Just give it a turn. Back stitching a couple times here, just I want to really secure in the elastic there. And I'm just going to trim my threads. And that will be attached well. When you took it apart, you may have noticed that the elastic was tacked in place along where the fabric is folded over. I'm going to hit this just with a little zigzag stitch down the side, just for some extra security, so I don't have to worry at all about it coming apart. So I'm going to change my stitch here down to just a standard zigzag. I'm going to have it pretty narrow, probably between a 2 and a 3, and I'm going to leave my length at a 2. My sewing machine sews better if I put the PUL layer down against the feed dogs. Your machine might work better a different way. I just know my machine doesn't really like that PUL. So I'll just start. I'm making sure I'm on top of that elastic, and I'm just going to sew probably about a ½ inch, and then back stitch it a couple times so I'm sewing over that elastic so it doesn't have a tendency to pull out. Now you don't have to do this. I'm just doing it because I don't think it'll pull out with that stitching I did. I just want a little extra security. It doesn't look the greatest, but I don't really care. If you care, I would just leave it the same, and more than likely I would say it won't pull out. I don't think SoftBums tells you to do the zigzag. I just want to, just for a little extra security. So I'm just going to turn it and repeat on this side. So here we go again. I'm just on the other side. I'll start out with just my straight stitch and back stitch over that elastic. and that's what it looks like if that's where you want it to stop. Now again, I'm just going to zigzag it just because I want to. You don't have to. So there you go. Just tighten your toggles a little bit, and your diaper is fully functional with your new elastic.